I'm going to show you how to use Canva to create banners for stuff like YouTube videos and just headers for your blog. So my name is Doug Cunnington. I'm the founder of Niche Site Project. I write about Amazon affiliate sites and internet marketing and how I use project management to make those things easier. So I've been using a tool called Canva. I'm showing you sort of my dashboard here. But this is Canva, and it's used by like professional graphic designers. So I've hired people from, say, like a place like Upwork, and they use Canva to create the banners for me. Now, turns out it's super easy to use Canva, and once you sort of get a template in place, it's something you could use over and over again. Now, I'm going to create basically a banner, a custom thumbnail to use on a YouTube video. So I'll show you my YouTube sort of feed here, and you can see that I have a lot of these authority websites and Amazon affiliate niche sites. You can see each of these have a custom banner. That's cool. I have them all looking the same. And I have some for like backup plan for keyword research webinar. These don't. They just have my bald head and pretty face there, and it's not super helpful. And these get a lot more engagement. And the reason why is, if you're scrolling through the suggested feed and you see a thumbnail that tells you what's in there versus a thumbnail of some random dude who you don't know who it is, well, you're probably going to be drawn to the thumbnail, the custom thumbnail. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably stick with this format here, but I'll show you starting from like nothing what you could come up with. So in fact, here's a great one. I don't have an image yet for this one. Images to use for free on your websites, including niche sites. So this is scheduled. It's not actually out yet. So good for me for planning ahead and being able to create a video around this. So I'm going to just click to edit this, and basically I just want that open so we can get to it easily later. So what we're going to do is just copy the title of it there, and we're going to snag an image. This is Unsplash, which is in a very meta way covered in the video here. Images to use free on your website, including niche sites. So we can grab images here. And any of these, by the way, on Unsplash are just like straight up free to use. So we can snag any of these that we want. And I don't have a specific one in mind for this, but what we can do, I'll just select, this looks pretty cool here. So we see it's Yosemite, it looks awesome. And all you have to do is click the download button, and then boom, it downloads like super fast, and it's very high quality. In fact, it may be a little large for like what we're trying to do, but what I'm gonna do is just upload it here. So we'll upload it over here in a moment. We're gonna create a new design. So we're gonna start from scratch here. I'm gonna say use custom dimensions, which you can do if you want to. They have a lot of presets, but I just happen to know this will be a little bit faster. I know exactly that I want it to be 700 by 400 pixels, and we'll say design. I also know that I don't need their templates or layouts or anything because we're going to upload the image that we want. So we'll just upload that here, so we can just drag it over and it'll take a second to upload. And there we go. So it somehow already displayed it even though it's still uploading. So I'm not sure how that works exactly, but from here we will be adding text. We'll also be just expanding this out so that it fills the whole section here. And I'm no designer, but we'll leave it like this. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is we'll add the heading. So this is Archivo Black. There's a lot of different fonts you can choose. This roughly aligns to Arial Black, I think. So I kind of like that. It's sort of like what I use on my site. So we'll leave it like this. And this is where we'll put in the title. Now, you may notice that it's a little bit hard to read like that. It's huge as far as the font goes, which isn't a bad thing because we want it to be easy to read as a thumbnail. Remember, we're thinking thumbnails, they're small, so this could be okay, but it's a little hard to read. So what I'm going to do here is I've selected the image that's in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, we're going to go with, let's see what happens when we lighten it up. How much easier is it to read? Okay, it's a lot easier to read. So we're going to lighten it up quite a bit. And then we can beef up the contrast, or they have a bunch of presets too, right? So we can go with edge, we can go with different here, like, let's see if there's anything else interesting. Street. And then you can beef up the intensity or knock it down. Well, I don't like any of those. I keep stuff simple. I just want you to be able to read. So I'm going to make it much brighter, and I'm going to think lowering the contrast is going to be a little helpful. So like we can read this now. That's pretty good. It's not as great over here as I would like. So let's go back, and we're going to bump up the brightness a little bit more. Okay, so now we can read our text a little bit better. That looks good. Now the one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add and by the way, there's a bunch of free photos you can add in here if you wanted to. Some you have to pay for, others you don't. So there's a lot of free ones. If you wanted to, just pick one of these, you could. I just happen to go to Unsplash because, well, I like Unsplash. But you could, toss one of these on, and then you have a bear back there, if you want. So, not particularly useful, but you know what? You can play around too. Like I said, it wasn't super awesome to read over on this side. So what we can do, which I haven't done before, by the way, we'll just play around a bit. We can, put a bear image. I mean, this is all about using free images, so why not have a bunch of additional cool random images on here, like these, as an illustration of how awesome these sites are. And hey, maybe these will perform better. We'll do this last one here. A little big to get into our text. And just true that up. So all those are sort of in line, mostly. Like I said, I'm no designer. That's why I use tools like Canva. Okay, so this looks pretty good here. And the last thing I'm going to do, so we got elements here. We can close out that part, go to shapes. And last, I'm going to put this thing down here, because basically I want to put the name of my site, which is Niche Site Project. And I also want this color to line up, which I just happen to know. This is one of those things, 3AC22B, that's the color that I use on my site. It's just one of those things that you tend to remember. And I'm just going to scoot these up just a bit. There's a little more showing. And then you can do stuff like when you arrange these, you can I could push that back since that shows enough. And, okay, that looks pretty good there. And finally, a little more text here. I happen to know that turning this to white text is going to look a little better. And we'll just say Niche Site project, which is my site. If you happen to go to the site, you can get like 15,000 keywords for Amazon affiliate niche sites. By the way, you should check that out. So that's kind of centered up. And so we have images to use for free on your websites, including niche sites. And I see that could be a little bit better centered. So that's pretty good there. And then all you have to do, right? I used their free images here, and I used a free image in the background that I got from Unsplash. So all you have to do is download it. You can pick what kind you want. I'll just go ahead and get the JPEG. And it takes a second to download. We'll be good to go here. Then, as it's downloading, I know that I'm going to put a custom thumbnail here. And boom, it's right here. Open it, uploads, we save the changes. Boom. Then what we can do, sometimes it takes a second or two to upload, but if we remember this right here, right, we're looking at this section right here. This is the one that should be updated. So if we refresh it with any luck, we'll have our new image there. Beautiful new image there. And boom. If I zoom in on this, we see images to use on your website, and then it's like, boom, you see images to use free on your website, including niche sites. Looks like I covered it up. I guess if you were watching, you were probably yelling at me. So including niche sites. So it looks okay there, but for whatever reason, it got covered up here. So this is a real thing that people experience. I just went through it just now and I had no idea. So I'm going to bump it down to 32 on the text size. And then I'm going to download it again and see what's up. So yeah, when we look here, it's kind of small, but I'm going to zoom in here for you on my trackpad. And you see the text got truncated a little bit there. So what we're going to do, I'll just change the image, and all I'll have to do is upload this new one where I knocked the text down from 36 down to 32, and that gave us enough room. So now, like, when we zoom back in, we'll save it real quick. When we zoom back into YouTube, we see, okay, the full text is there. I know that's a little blurry, but you get the idea. And then when we go back here, refresh again, I think, with any luck, we'll be good to go here. And boom. Okay, so now it actually looks like what it's supposed to look like. Images to use free on your website, including niche sites. And then, previously it was a little bit harder to read. Now, I will say, in an ideal situation, right, I would have made the text even larger because, like, when you compare this image here, this thumbnail, to this thumbnail, it's a little bit smaller here and it's a little bit harder to read. So the thing you have to remember is not everyone's using a laptop or a big screen monitor. Like, most people are using their phone or their tablet. So if they're scrolling through, like, you want them to be able to read this easily and know exactly what is behind the scenes here. So it may be better for me to, take out the niche site project on the bottom and maybe just do a green banner and then have the text like much larger. But, this is what we came up with now, and it's worth, testing and like using other stuff. So you can see I've gone in a pretty consistent way with a large font here. So that is how you use Canva to create YouTube thumbnails, and you could also use it to create like all your banners for blog posts or whatever. You can use, when you put it together, when you put Canva together with free sources like Unsplash, you basically don't need to hire a graphics designer. You can do this yourself. It's super quick. And the thing is, right, so I created one from scratch, but look here, right? So if I want to create another one of these, so Amazon affiliate niche website, Gear Patrol, like, all we have to do, in fact, I need one of these images. So you make a copy. So make a copy of Gear Patrol. This is the copy over here. I can open it. So get this. This is crazy, like how efficient this is. So I just did top 10 reviews earlier today. So this will be top 10 reviews. And we can say Amazon affiliate niche site, website example. And then we'll say top 10 reviews. And to further, I mentioned before, maybe it's better, maybe I'm too vain, I'm like putting my website name here. Why don't we just make it smaller? And it's more of a supporting role rather than like a starring role here. And we maybe can bump up the text size just a little bit. Now the tricky part here is I need to scoot so I darkened that up a bit, but I need to just scoot this down a hair, just tweaking this a little bit. And we have a little more real estate here. So we may be able to bump up the text to 64. Sometimes you can't, right? Okay, so that's a little big. Let's see if we just widen it a bit. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to step it back down to, we'll step it down to 42. And I'm trying to figure out which part. So Amazon affiliate niche website. So I think I want these two lines to actually be the larger text. So what I'm going to do is add some more text here. I'm going to change it to white font so it's readable. And then, okay, so now we have the ability to bump it up. I'm getting too greedy here, but let's see what we could do. I think Oswald is the other font in here. So if we bump it up to 64, can we go to 72? Okay. So what we have here, we've increased the font size. So the idea is it'll be a little bit easier for people to read in the thumbnail view. So if we download this, I haven't uploaded this yet, but when you compare like these thumbnails with a larger font size, they're just easier to read. So I'm going to maybe test this out for the next few with this larger sort of font template. But the whole point is here, all I did was I made a copy. Oh, and here's kind of a thumbnail view. It'll take a second for this to load up here to generate the preview, but I'll just refresh this page. It'll still take it a second. But anyway, it's a little bit easier to read this, and all you have to do, once you get your template set, all you have to do is make a copy and then edit the text on there and download it. So super fast, really easy. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. I go over internet marketing, I go over Amazon affiliate websites, and sometimes productivity, project management. That's my corporate background. So I bring to the table, corporate experience along with internet marketing knowledge. So I'm Doug Cunnington, founder of Niche Site Project. Thanks for checking out the video.